Hey, it's Rick here. It's been a while since we did any filming on one of our projects, houses, because it's been a crazy summer. There's just been a lot of work, and outside of what we normally do. So between my home inspections and bank inspections and working on clients' homes, like bathroom remodels. I did a whole house where I painted most of the inside on a house. That took me, a lot of time this summer. And so I guess what I'm getting at is I've had a lot of people, inquire, well, we see that you are doing your stop sign videos and all that, but you don't do anything on your houses anymore. Did you quit doing that? And no, I have not quit doing it. But I don't feel it's right to really film work being done at a client's home. So pretty much whenever I do a how-to video or show updates on our projects, I try to do it at a house that we own. So anyway, with that said, I kind of wanted to get over here on 10th Street today because we haven't done a video over here in a long time, since we did the basement clean out and some stuff like that. I think I did a gutter repair video, some stuff like that, but it's been several months since we've actually done anything over here. So, I mean, the kids are already back in school. Of course, that's a whole other story. They don't really have summers off like they did when I was a kid. But anyway, I digress. So what I thought I would do is we've got to get this carport put back on this house. If you remember, there used to be a carport here. It went clear out, clear up to about this part on the house and came over. And it only had like a 6-foot opening. So what I'm going to do is, if you look at this slab here, this slab is level from this point on. It's about 20 feet. And then from this point up, it starts going uphill to get to the street level. So, and you can kind of see that over here if you follow the blocks across here. So it's pretty level. I wouldn't say it's 100% level, but it does flow away from the house, the water, and then of course, there is a drain right down here. If there is water that gets on this, it goes out the drain and goes out to the alley. So with that being said, what I want to do is, instead of making it, if you look over here, this is the height that it used to be, okay, and that is approximately 7 feet. So I want to add a foot to that, which is going to put us up in this part somewhere across. So what that's going to entail is I want to go out to my favorite Home Depot store, and I'm going to buy 3 8-foot 4x4 posts and some mounting hardware to mount the posts actually to the concrete slab. Okay, and then we're going to put a framing system across here, and then we'll slope the roof ever so slightly, because we have all this sheet metal that I pulled off the roof that's still good. So there's nothing wrong with it, so I want to reuse it. And a lot of the wood here that I've got stacked up is still solid, so I want to be able to reuse that as much as I can, because we're going to paint it and put soffit and trim on it. And then before we actually put the roof on, then I'm going to have to get up here and replace all this soffit across here, and the fascia board underneath. You can see the soffit is only to that point, and then the fascia is actually come off in some spots. So I want to get that on. I want to get the gutter put on, and then we'll put the roofing on, and then we'll run a small gutter out here on this edge, because there's a place, there's a pipe actually right here that I've got capped off, where I can run the gutter down into. And then over here, there's a place underneath this brick that the gutter can go down into, and so we can drain the water off this house. So with all that being said, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to probably film this over the next few days, and I'm going to show you a little bit here and there. I'm sure I'll edit some of it out, but we'll show you how to mount the 4x4s onto the concrete. We'll show you how to do I'll have to do some temporary framing to stabilize that while I build the frame across, and we've got to put a new header plate up here and some stuff. So I'll try to show you all of that as we go, and we'll just kind of keep you updated that way. So anyway, glad you're tuning in. You know, take that time to reach down there and push that like button or the thumbs up arrow, or however your YouTube channel shows you to do that. And it'd be great if you would share this with your friends and get them to subscribe. We're up to 42 subscribers now, I think, which is awesome. You know, we'd like to get to 1,000, but it takes all of you guys out there watching this to do that. So anyway, all right, with that, I will show you more. Okay, well, we made a trip to the to my favorite store there, the Home Depot store, and not that I'm giving them any commercial here, it's just that I do like that store. They have some good deals. These are 4x4s, 8 foot long, and I picked through them and got really nice straight ones, and ones that will be able to be sanded up a little, because we'll prime and paint these. And I got treated lumber because even though we're going to have a plate, and I'm going to show you the plate we're going to put on them, I still want treated lumber because they are going to be exposed. The wood that will be in the framing up above will be covered by a roofing, and it'll be painted, so it's not going to be exposed to the elements like these posts will over time. And then back up here, everything kind of is full. This is the piece that I'll mount to the concrete, and then you slide this in here and then attach it on the sides. And I'm going to show you how to do all that. And somebody, I know already, somebody's going to text me, or not text me, but you know, reply to and send a message to me saying, oh, well, you're putting treated lumber on there, but you're using a galvanized anchor on concrete, and that'll cause corrosion between the two. And you know, it probably will, but you're going to have to paint this anyway periodically. It's not going to last forever. The paint won't, even though I'll prime it. So just maintain your property. You know, don't let it turn into what this house looks like because no one ever maintained it, you know. That's not how you do things. Sorry. You know, you don't just buy something and move into it and expect it to be perfect. So, okay, so one of the things I want to talk about here is, as I stated before, the house is old, it's not square. This slab is not perfectly square across here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a straight edge, or a string, and use it as a straight edge, but we're going to lay a string on the foundation down through here. So if you look down through there, and we're going to pull that string this way or this way, and we'll mark this corner where the corner will be this way, and then we will measure from the corner of the house out to make our mark to go this way. And then we will take that same measurement and come up here and measure from the foundation or the block basement wall over, and we'll make our mark wherever that falls out. And it won't be the same. This here might be an inch, and down there might be a half an inch, but it's not going to be the same because I've already checked this slab and it's not square. So, but I want, these old homes are, none of them are ever square. Nothing is ever, you know, it's a lot of times it's just people that made do with what they had and they built things. But I want to try to square this up as good as I can, but I also don't want it to look odd. So the reason I'm saying that is if I come in here and this is 3 inches over to get it the same width across here as it is back here, then I will probably cheat this back to about an inch or an inch and a half, because I don't want it to look odd. You see what I mean? So, and then of course that'll throw everything off as we go up, but we'll just have to work with it. These old homes that you remodel, you just have to learn to work with what you have. And but you got to make it so it looks good when you look at it, that it doesn't look like, hey, what's wrong with that? Why does that look crooked? Or why does that end of the garage look smaller than the other, when in fact it's actually square, but because the house is off, it makes it look that way. So anyway, if I'm being over redundant on that, it's because I've done this for 30 years, and I know to make it look right, sometimes you have to build something out of square to make it look right when you're dealing with old construction. So anyway, all right, I'll get set up here, and then I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about with marking the corners here, so that we know where to put our mounting brackets. More later. Okay, so what we've got here is, I'm just going to use my chalk line, and I've wrapped it around this ground wire that comes out of the corner of the block, so that it'll be tight against here. And this is a block that has, you know, a distinct variation to it. It's very common to this era of home in this community, because these were made here in Jasper. So they're textured, or they're contoured, or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to lay this across here, and we're going to kind of just go with an average of the straight line when we pull this string tight, and then we're going to lay it down through there, and we're going to mark it. So I'll try to show you that. I'm going to set this right here so you can see what I'm doing, and then hopefully you can figure that out. So here we go. Best if you don't drop it. So I'm going to pull this over until it kind of lays straight, and that's actually right here on the corner of this. So I'm going to put snap the chalk line here. Okay. There's that. Okay, so you can see, I don't know if you can see it very good with my shadow here, but there's the chalk line. So you can see that the slab is a little out of square because it gets wider here than it does back over here. So now we're going to measure, like I said, from that corner over, and we'll just make it an even number, whatever that comes out to be, and then we'll go up here and we'll measure it, and we'll see where we're at. All right, show you more. Okay, so what I've done here, because generally I'm working by myself, so I took my tape measure and lined that thing up right at the corner of the basement wall, and then I put a brick on it to hold it down, and then I stretched it back across here, and you can see that 12 foot falls right here. So the slab is actually about 146.5 or 12 foot 2 inches and a half. But we're probably going to back that up somewhere in here in the 12 foot range. But what we're going to do is we're going to go up and measure this other end first, because this slab I already know goes this way. So let's see where our slab is at up on that corner. Okay, so I've got my tape measure laid out over there, and as you can see, I put it up against the block wall, And then we're going to look down here and see how wide the slab is at this point. And as you can see, it's actually a little less than 12 inches. 12 feet, I'm sorry. It's more like a 11 foot, 11 and a half. So what I may do is go down there where we marked the other one at 12 foot. So I may go down there and take a half of an inch off of it, or back set it a half of an inch, so that we're at 143 and a half, and then I can mount my bracket right here flush with this corner, and then down there we would have about we'll go look at it, but it'd be close to about 2.5 inches of slab showing from where our mount would be. And we got to decide whether that's going to look funny or not. So let's go down here and look at that. So if we go down here, now obviously this line I put on here is not straight. I just wanted this corner reference point right here. So we are at 12 foot right here. So you can see that I got about 1.5 inches of the slab showing here, and up there we are right at the edge. So I'm thinking right now probably what we're going to do is put that one out on the edge, and then we'll put this one down here and we'll back it off a little bit here so that a little bit of the slab shows, because it'll look funny if we have a lot of no slab showing there and a lot of slab here. So I think, as I'm talking, I think I may just change what I just said, because I'm afraid it will look odd. So we'll probably put that one, maybe just back it off a half an inch from the corner, and then we'll come down here and we'll do this one about 1 inch from the corner. So we'll cheat it just a little, and that way it will look like when you look down through it, or if you're standing at the other end of the driveway up there by my van and looking down this way, it won't look like it'll look like the wall is somewhat straight instead of it looking like it's like this. So, because trust me, people pick out the silliest things when they're looking to buy a house, and that's what we're fixing this one for, is someone to buy it. And so if they look down through there and say, oh well, that thing is not even the same on the slab, look at that, then they'll think the whole house is shifted or something. They come up with some of the craziest stuff. And so anyway, all right, show you more. Okay, so here's a prime example of what I'm talking about. We already know that the slab down on that corner down here is 2 inches longer than it is here. So then we have to decide, this is about where the driveway starts sloping up. This is a little higher, it's probably about 1 inch higher, but we can adjust that on the top plate whenever we put the header across the support beams. So I can't quite go, here's 19 feet. Okay, so if you go, you can't quite go 20 feet because 20 feet puts us over into here. So I guess we're just going to, so it will look appropriate when you walk up to it, you'll see this seam. So I'm going to back over here and put the corner of it at 238 inches, or 19 feet 10 inches. Okay, so that means if you take 238 and divide it by 2, that gives us 119 inches. So if we come down here on our tape measure to 119, which is right here, and we make a mark here, so now we know that that's the center of where we want our second or our middle support beam mounted. So we'll mount one of the support beam concrete mounts here, we'll mount one here, and then we'll put one down on the corner down there. So that'll get us our positioning for our mounts on our posts. So, alright, show you more. Okay, so we know we got our brackets here. So we're going to center this one on the corner of this, and we're going to drill 4 holes, and we're going to run a Tapcon in here in 4 locations. Probably wouldn't need 4, but because if someone hits it hard enough to shear off 2 of them, they, you know, they're going to break it on off. They probably break the post before they ever shear this off anyway. But with that said, we don't necessarily want it weak either. So, and you know, we want some sort of security here coming up in case we get some lift, because once we build this structure out here, we're not in a hurricane area, but you know, I am going to put some hurricane hangers on it so that if it lifts up from a storm, that it doesn't pull this up off the ground. So we have to be kind of concerned that way too. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to set this down here and show what I'm doing, and we'll get these drilled and mounted. All right. Yeah, don't do this at home. Okay. And we want to make sure we get that squared, because this corner of the slab is actually square, so that's something we can reference off of. So as you may have already noticed, this one didn't go down all the way, so I didn't drill it deep enough. So let's take that out. Take that over here. And then we'll drill that one a little deeper. Like I said, folks, don't try this at home. This is just the way I do things. Okay, so I think you get the idea here. This will be mounted now to our concrete slab, and we will set the post down in this, and we'll secure it here and here, three sides, or 3 screws on each side. And we're going to go down through here and put another one on our 119-inch mark, and then one down in the corner. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to go down here to the far corner, and we're going to mount this one, and then we're going to take a string and we're going to tie, well, we'll probably use our chalk line, but we're going to hook it here and then lay it across that one down there and mark so we know where at on the 119 inches, so that this is a straight line through here. So, alright, I'll show you that when we get to that. Okay, so we got this one mounted, and then I went ahead and hooked my chalk line up to that, and we stretched it out through here, and we wrapped it around here so it's good and tight. And then we're going to come down here where we marked this at 119, and we're going to snap a line. Okay. Now, what that did was as you'll notice, and this is what we talked about, that the slab is actually about right at 2 inches wide here than it is up here. But in order to make this look straight, when you walk up on this, if you had the wall sticking out, the optical illusion would make it seem like it was crooked. I think it's going to be less noticeable if the slab just happens to stick out a little bit, because you know, you may not notice that as much, because believe me, an inch or two off can give you an optical illusion that there's a real issue. So by the time this is squared up, framed up square across here, well, actually it'll be across up here and down, it should look nice and square with the house that does not sit straight on the lot, and the driveway is wider at the end, so, or the slab on this parking slab. So anyway, all right, so we got to get that center one mounted, and then I'll show you more. Okay, well, we got all those mounted. As you can see, there's the very first one we put in that we filmed, and then the next one is down here at 119, and then we got the corner one down there. So you can see that if you stand here and get that straight line down through there, that's what we were going for. Now again, is it straight with the slab? No, but it's going to be square to the house, and so you've got to decide what you're not going to make crooked, you know. So I decided that it was better to make the carport square with the house that doesn't sit perfectly square on the lot, and not worry about at, you know, here, down here we just have like right on the corner, and then we're about 1.5 inches here, and then down here at the very end we're about 2.25. So anyway, they just didn't frame it up square with the house when they poured this slab years ago. So not an uncommon thing, but again, trying to make it look the best we can. So all right, well, that's about all I'm going to do today, because I've got to go on and do some other stuff. I've got a client that's bought some furniture off of Walmart.com, and they ship it, you know, of course, in a box, and you have to assemble it. I've actually been doing a lot of that work lately, because these folks get real good deals on furniture on Amazon and Walmart.com and a few other places that I've noticed, and then they get it and then they realize, oh, well, we don't even have a screwdriver, so we're going to have to hire somebody to put it together. So the changing world of not having furniture stores and not having men or women or delivery people to bring it to your house and set it up, that has just made more work for me. Someone who uses tools, understands how to fix things and do things. So it's made a great business for me. So I'm fine with that. But anyway, it causes me to not get projects like this done right away. But I'm going to go ahead and drop this video and end it here. So you guys comment on it, like it, share it, and we'll get Carport number 2 coming up soon. So again, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye. Run, Tallulah, run! Hi, baby.